Today, we step into the quiet mystery of who we are, the patterns, the instincts, the hidden wiring that shape our lives. And guiding us through this journey is a brilliant mind in personality science, Ms. Cordelia Bemana, as we uncover what personality truly means and why it matters. Don't mind the noise, just plug in. Welcome to the Purpose Plug podcast, where we connect you to clarity and help you to live on purpose. One of the primary purposes of this podcast is to be self-aware. One of the ways that you can be self-aware is to understand your personality. And littered in the podcast are some of the hints as to different personalities that exist. But let's just backtrack a little bit. Imagine I were a 10-year-old child that has no idea, because I want to assume that just a few portion of people are aware of the different personality types. So I wanted to understand what this personality thing is. Where did it start from? How is it relevant to me? How would you respond to that?
I'll start from telling the person what temperament means. Your temperament is what you were born with, innate, it's natural. Your natural disposition. You didn't have to learn it. You just came and you discovered yourself. You react to situation based on that particular natural inclination. So that's what the temperament is at the foundational level. Then everything that is built upon the temperament, your environment, your learning, your experiences, your upbringing, whatever it is that you now add to that foundation is your personality. So everything
Put together
makes you who you are.
Where did this all begin? At what point did we start categorizing people into different groups based on how they behave? Where did this originate from?
I think if you go way back, one of the person that stands out for me is Hippocrates, a person that talked about the temperament, and he talked about the temperament in terms of the theory of humorism, like humor, like fluid, body fluid in the human. Because if you talk about it and you say temperament is biological, you had to find a way to explain that it has to do with the fluid, human fluid, and that's the reason for the disparity. So if you look at it, we have 4 temperaments. He talked about 4 temperaments: the sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholic, and choleric. They're Greek words because he's a Greek philosopher. And some other philosophers have gone on to develop his work, added more knowledge or more information.
So they just kept improving on it.
Improved upon what he's done. And then, of course, for the one that most, I know one of the popular behavioral framework is the Myers-Briggs type indicator. Most of their own theory stems from the work of Carl Jung. He talked about the 8 cognitive functions being how we process things mentally, in terms of how we solve problems, we interact, and just the mental process that takes place in our minds. He came up with the 8 cognitive functions, and they built their personality type from those functions, of course. It's either extroversion or introversion.
Yeah.
That is how you get energized as a person. What kind of environment do you get energized? That extroversion and introversion is looking at. So I have to put it in there that it's a matter of preference. You hear people tell you that I'm not
or I have both.
I'm both.
I go out sometimes.
That's because there's nobody that is at the extreme end completely. It's like a scale, spectrum, and that's the word. You're either leaned more towards extroversion or lean towards more introversion. So wherever you are,
but at least one will come to you naturally.
Yes, one will come. You find out that you prefer one more than the other. So you're more attuned to one more than the other. You feel more at home with one more than the other. So that's how you measure. So it's not that I'm only introverted. I don't have time. No matter how introverted you are, there are times you don't mind sitting down and being alone and doing your own thing with your thoughts and just processing things mentally, internally. The second set is about how you gather information. So what kind of information are you sourcing for? You go out there, what are the things that your RAS, picks, your reticular articulation system, what are the things that draw your attention, that pull you in? So that's how you gather information. The things that I might be drawn to might not be the things that will attract you. So when we talk about that, we're talking about either your sensory or your intuitive.
Is that how you get information into your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
How you get information, how you gather information, the kind of information that you're looking for, that you are assimilating.
Assimilating.
The kind of information you're assimilating.
Okay.
So it's either sensory, which has to do with tangible, concrete things, something that you can see, you can touch, your five senses, see, touch, feel. Those are the kind of information that you'll be looking out for if you're a person that is more.
Maybe that's why they call it sensing, because it's more sensory.
Sensations.
Sensation.
So that's the kind of information you'll be gathering, you'll be looking out for. Then if you're intuitive, you'll be looking at ideas, concepts, abstract, not things that are visible, like things that you can see, but abstract things, like impressions that are not tangible, they're intangible. Those are the kind of things that so you're looking at concepts. And for the third dichotomy, it's either, this is how you make decisions now. How do you make your decision? What is the thing that you base your decision upon? Is it, you're either a feeler or a thinker? So it's either feeling or thinking. So if you're someone that bases your decision on feeling, you'll be looking at values, interests.
So when you say these are like your personal values, like the things that make sense to you,
valuable to you, that appeal to you as a person, it could be you, or it doesn't have to be you alone. Because if you notice these particular functions I'm calling, there's the introverted version and there's the extroverted version. So if you're talking about the introverted version, you're talking about you dealing with things internally. So your measures are internal measures. Then if you're talking about the extroverted version of it, you're talking about you bringing out to the outer world now and interacting with it. So that's why we wouldn't say it's your part. It's just value in general. Just value system.
Okay.
Your value system, and then what interests you, what you find interesting. So those are how your decisions will be made. A thinker, someone that is more attuned to thinking in terms of your decision making. You'll be looking at facts. You're looking at logic. You're looking at research. What is out there? What is the data saying? If someone is a feeler, you find out that their decision will be based on bad and good, right and wrong. Meanwhile, a thinker will be looking at false and true.
Can you give an example?
For which of them?
For both of them. Let's say you want to, there are two people that you want to give a job to, right? You want them to work in your company. So are you saying that a feeler would maybe make that decision based on his values?
Yes, most likely. Like, he will look at his values. Like, what are the things that the person values? Maybe the person is able to touch the area of something the person
they value.
They value. There's a tendency that it will catch their attention, or something in terms of something that they're interested in. Maybe you come and you begin to talk about an area where the person is interested in. Maybe has a cause towards helping children or something, and maybe you begin to talk about conversation that is related to children. The tendency is that you will catch the person's attention.
Yeah, but then if you're dealing with a thinker now, he is just looking at
facts. What are the person's qualification? Exactly. What are your experiences? You look at what were the qualifications in terms of professional and educational qualification that was asked, that was stipulated for that job. And that's what the person is going to work with. It doesn't matter whether you're my town's person or my tribe's person. Of course, it's not like he would undermine it completely, but what will be supersede every other thing is in terms of facts that are out there.
And I think that's why people like that come across as mean or strict. So we've come across those kind of people, and then people will be like, this man or this woman, they're just too strict. They're rigid. And I think that's the reason why. And then when you come closer to them, you would understand that it's just principles that they work with.
The last dichotomy is how you want the world to be. How you want the world to be structured. Let's put it that way. You're either a perceiver or a judger.
What does it mean to be a perceiver?
To be a perceiver means that you want life to be flexible and adaptable. You don't want to be boxed in. You don't want anything that is rigid. You just want to go with the flow. Then for a judger, you want to structure, organize your world. You want to decide on things and get it over with and move to the next thing. So they tend to be very decisive, while the perceivers tend to be open-ended. They want to leave things, so they keep their options open, so that I don't want to lock in on these things, so that maybe something else will come, maybe there will be something else, maybe I'll get. So you find out that most of the time they always do things last minute. There's no deadlines, nothing gets done. Meanwhile, the person that is a judger likes to meet up with their timelines, do your deadline, you're done, you decide issue, you move it, and you're moving to the next thing. So when they set their goals, they tend to set goals, achieve them, and they move on to the next thing.
It means that a perceiver wouldn't like a regimented structure.
No.
Somewhere that has like rules, has timings, has
too strict.
They won't do so well there.
Won't do well. It's not. It will constrain them.
Yeah.
Too much, and it won't be something that.
And I think it's the other way around. If you have a judger in an environment that is not structured,
laissez-faire kind of. No, they won't like that kind of environment. They will like an environment where there's structure, things are organized. You know what to do at what time, and everything is set in place. So there's a system running. So it's easy for you to just this is it, and things are not left to chance.
Yeah. So I talked a little bit about some of the advantages of getting to know yourself, and one was your relationship with yourself, first of all, and your relationship with other people, and then lastly your finances. And I decided to touch on those three areas, but I just want to pick one, and so that we can end the conversation on that note. How is it relevant to you, generally, but then now focusing on your finances? How is it relevant to you as an individual, having knowledge of your personality? How does it affect you?
From everything we've said, it's obvious that that there's power in knowledge. Most of the advancements we've had in different fields of human endeavors, either in biology, in technology, has been as a result of knowledge. Without knowledge, nothing would have happened. And of course, knowledge, you continue to build upon it. The more information you have, the more you are able to advance in an area. So imagine you knowing about yourself and how it can help you improve and advance your life as a person in all ramifications, like in all round. There's nowhere where if you have more knowledge that it becomes
a disadvantage.
It can never be a disadvantage. Knowledge gives you power. When you know something, you've basically mastered it. The more you know about it.
So let me even give practical examples. Like having knowledge about the different personality types has helped me with my relationship with other people, because one of the things that brings frustration is expectation. If you expect disappointment, thank you. So you expect people to act a certain way, especially considering how you see things. You'd always want them to act like you or see things like you, but when they don't, now you're now disappointed. But then having the knowledge that people are different, and some people are judges, some people are perceivers, just knowing that alone just helps me guide my expectation towards them. And finances, right? And I think that's where you were heading to. It has helped me in knowing the kind of businesses that I can consider. Back in the day, we started direct sales. We're learning network marketing, and some people thrive very well in it. Some people were just good at sales, and you'd be wondering, how is this person this good? And then knowing this now, and I now understand that, this is a business that fits this
some certain type of people do better.
Yeah, they'll do better because it comes naturally to them. Just the way when I'm doing my thing, it's my element. I just coast on it, and
You're tough.
It's my playground. I just enjoy myself doing it. Somebody else will come and try to do what I'm doing, and it's like, how do you people do this? So, and I think that's it. But how would you comment on that?
And when it comes to the area of finances also, you find out that some people have, it comes naturally for them to save money, to think of the future, plan for the future, strategize for the future. And for others, it's not a natural thing. They have to work on it and have to build some muscle in those areas when it comes to savings and investment. So that's where this whole thing about knowing yourself also helps you. And then when you're talking about business, I've heard everybody say, people talk like everybody can go and start up a business. Not everybody. Everybody can start a business, but not everybody will do well doing their own business. Some people actually are wired and do better working with others, not actually taking the lead. Because some people are natural born leaders. They come and they're dogged. You can call them CEOs, like they know how to run their thing. But not everybody can do that. So people give people advice and say, go out there, go and start your own business. And the good thing about it is the whole digital economy that has come into place now. It has given some kind of, people the opportunity to be able to do their own thing. And, because when you look at real life business, like a physical business and all the logistics that it takes to run it, it's not just, it has to be a dogged person, people that are dogged, resilient. I'm not saying you can't build resiliency, but even if you build it, you can't be like someone that it comes to naturally. You understand? Yeah. So for me, I'm an advocate of people finding what you know how to do well and just go do that thing. And that's the beauty about God creating people in different, with unique, giving us unique traits, and people are different. That's the beauty about it.
And I believe God created it this way so that we need each other. Because imagine interdependency. Imagine like in all the areas, like you were all, 100%. You wouldn't need anyone.
There will be no need for collaboration.
No need for collaborations. And if you see the way God structured creation, you'd know that everything needs everything. The plants, they need water.
There's an ecosystem.
It's an ecosystem, and that's why we have this difference. So it's not necessarily how people look at it like, oh, this boxes me. It doesn't. It just says that you thrive better in this area so that you can collaborate with this person, complement this person. Now, we're going to start analyzing the different personalities, because I know some people are wondering, so how do I find myself? Where do I know where I fit in? What's my framework here? So we are going to be analyzing the different personality types one by one, so that you can go through them, and the one that speaks to you is likely your personality. So stay plugged into the Purpose Plug podcast.